Hi, welcome, coming in. So I've been thinking about doing a house tour for a while now, and this morning I got out of bed and I thought, right, I'm going to start off by cleaning all the house, making it really tidy so that everything's in place, ready to do the house tour. And then I kind of thought, well, why do that? Why not show a bit more of a realistic view of what our house looks like and how we live practically, because me, my husband and 2 children all live here along with the dog, and myself and my husband work from home. So as you can imagine, things aren't spotless all of the time. So yeah, I thought I would give you a little tour. We live in a rented house, just in case you don't follow me on Instagram and you're not aware of this. I'll talk about the areas which I really like and the areas that I would love to change. And yeah, I'll go through some of the items that I've picked up and the bits that I love and the bits that I don't love along the way. So this is the front door as you walk in. So we'll start off here. Here I've hung this print, which I think is perfect as you walk through, "Hey up me duck." It's actually probably more of a Nottingham saying, but because I'm from Yorkshire, it's also something that they would say in Yorkshire. So I really liked that, and that's from the Print Club London. And then we've got an internal door here, which is great because it just keeps the cold out. And also I love the little glass panes in here. So we'll go through into the hallway. There's some boxes of flooring which I've just had delivered. I'm working with a brand, so I'll be showing that later on my Instagram. There's always a little pile of something on the stairs in our house. You'll always find that there, and it's usually a little pile for people to take upstairs, but no one ever does apart from me. This is a faux cactus, which is perfect for this spot. People often wonder if it's spiky, but it's not, it's really soft. I got this from Abigail Ahern, and then the planter, the brass planter, is from Home Place Online. This little shelf here is one of the things that I get asked about most on Instagram. So it's just a scaffold board shelf, which I bought from a seller on Etsy. It was £12, and he made it to the size that I wanted it, and it's also got the little edging detail on as well, which I really love. I'll pop the link below in the description box. People ask if it gets hot. No, it doesn't get hot. And if it's started to warp. No, it hasn't. It's been absolutely fine. It's on brackets, which I will show you here. So yeah, it's just held up on little brackets, and there's room between the radiator and the shelf. So there's plenty of room. It doesn't stop the heat coming out, which is another question that I often get asked. And yeah, this is quite a narrow space, so I didn't really want to put a console table in front of the radiator to block the heat. So I thought a shelf was perfect, and I really love the texture of the wooden one in here. It just adds that bit of warmth as you walk through the door. And then I often change up the things that I actually style on here. So at the minute, we've got a bit of an autumnal feel. We've got these faux flowers, which are preserved actually. I spoke about them in my last YouTube video from Cheddar Preserved Flowers, but I'll also link them below. And the pumpkin. I did a little tutorial to these over on my blog, so again I'll pop the link to the tutorial below if anybody wants to get involved and make their own. This light was from Aldi. I've had it ages. It's got like a marble base. It's got copper here, and the bulb was from Festive Lights, which it's got like a warm brown glow to it. The mirror was from Amara Living, and the light up there was from Habitat. I absolutely love that. I've got the one there, it's the brass one, and I've also got one in the living room. And then again, I've got some autumnal dried flowers on there, but I change those up seasonally, so I'm really looking forward to putting my Christmas bits on here as well. And this print was from, I think she's called Ellen Indy. Why is it gone so dark? Hold on, there we go. And it says "Be a nice human." So I've also got a little coat rack up there, which if you watched one of my other styling videos that I did on Instagram, you'll see that it actually fell down and it's very loose at the minute. So it needs re-plugging. It's got wall plugs in there, but these walls are really, really old, so it actually needs doing again and securing to the wall because it is just held up a thread up there, which is not good. Hence why I've got my gym mat down on the floor, because if I hang that on there, it's just going to come crashing down. This print is by Amy Beaker, and it was a gifted print. I absolutely love it. She just sits on the floor there. I was going to put her on the wall, but I actually really like her just sat there. And then I've just got a basket here with a big fleecy throw-in. So I've turned the light off now so you can get a true idea of what the hallway's like. This painted floor is something that I get asked a lot about. How do we keep it clean? How do we maintain it? So it does get a little bit dirty, especially when some of the kids come and they walk straight through with their shoes on. But actually it's not too bad, and it wipes down really, really easy. And all I do is top it up once a year with another coat of paint. I usually just go over it. And I think you'll find that most wooden painted floors just need a little bit of a top up. So I use the V33 paint, which is from B&Q, and it's brilliant, and it dries really quickly, so you've not got to worry about waiting ages and not being able to walk on it. The windows here, excuse the boxes, the windows here are the ones which I gave a bit of a Criddle style makeover. If I can find a picture, I will put a little cutout here to show you how they looked before. I painted the frames. They were varnished in like an orangey stain, and I painted them, and then I was going to paint them the same colour as the walls so that they all kind of blended in, because I've never really liked these windows. But then, as I was decorating, I decided to do them black, and once I painted the frames, I then thought they would look great, Criddle style. So I bought these little pieces of dowling from a local woodyard and painted them the same colour. And all I've done is slot them in so they're exactly the right size. There's no glue or anything like that, so these can easily come out. But they look so effective. It's probably the best makeover that I've done in here, because I absolutely love the windows now. They're a really great feature, and they allow so much light to come into the hallway as well. Again, I wrote a blog post all about this, so I'll pop the blog post below if you want a little bit more information. This is a faux staghorn, which was from Cox & Cox. One thing that I do get asked a lot is where we keep all our shoes and bags, because people see the little coat rack that I've just shown you there and think that that's all we've got. But it's not. We actually put this cupboard in when we did the hallway makeover. It's not amazing, but we did it ourselves because we had a quote from a joiner, and it was going to be, I think, £700 to build this into here. Before it was just an open space. Again, I'll try and put a cutout in if I can find a picture. So me and my husband together decided to build this cupboard, and I think we've done a pretty good job to say we've never done anything like this before. It's starting to get a little bit grubby around here. As you can see, this is not great because this is where we open and close the cupboard. But we built a frame, and then this is where all the shoes and coats are kept. Alfie's paper bag with a little paper round, and then it's got shoe racks in there, and it's actually got an understairs cupboard as well, which goes right through into there. So we've got loads and loads of storage in there. We try and keep it as tidy as possible, but it never happens. The kids come in and just throw everything in. But yeah, you can see here where we built the frame, and then we just added the doors on and the MDF around it. We had to get the light moved. This was just a big open space in here, and the light was there, which is a job that I've still not got around to doing. I really need to just fill that and paint it, because we had to get the light moved to there. So yeah, all these little jobs that you never get around to. I have got a list, and I am hoping to get started on those soon, because also I need to put some filler down here. You can see we've got a little crack there, and also we never finished the bottom of the skirt in there either. All these little jobs that you don't actually see on Instagram that need to be finished, but I'm sure everybody's the same, to be honest. I think once you get to a certain point, you get a bit fed up of doing the same project and need a bit of a break from it. So that's how I felt with this. Once I'd got it all finished, the stairs was such a massive job, so once it was kind of more or less finished, I just had a rest from it and never came back to it. Also, this door, I never painted the inside of the door because I ran out of white satin wood. I always use the Dulux One satin wood, which I love, because you just need one coat of it. So again, that's another job that I need to do, all on the list. So I'll now head through to the dining room. When we first moved in, the walls were wallpapered in a William Morris wallpaper, and although I love William Morris prints, it wasn't one that I really loved, and it was a little bit busy for me, so the landlord said it was fine to actually paint over it. So we did, we painted it black first, and it felt really dark, so now we've settled with this grey colour, which I absolutely love. It's a Valspar paint, and it's called Rocky Mountain Mist, and it's actually the same paint that we've done all the whole way in. So I've got a little picture rail up there with some prints on. The one on the end there is actually by my father-in-law. He's brilliant, he's so good, such a good artist. This one was via Martine, and I think you can pick it up in places like Rocket St George. And then this one here is one that I actually did myself, and it was so easy. It's just a little canvas that I've just used a tester pot on, painted around the edge, did a little cross, a few splodges, and it was so simple. One thing that you probably won't have seen on Instagram is this, because this is the damp patch that's come from outside. So when we had loads of rain a couple of months ago, the rain was coming down the outside wall, the external wall, and it was that heavy. We had a problem with the guttering. The guttering was all broken, so the rain was dripping down the walls, and it was that heavy that it's just left a mess on the inside there. And because there's wallpaper underneath this paint, I don't think it's going to dry out. I think that's the best it's going to be. So the wallpaper doesn't actually feel damp to touch, so I think what's happened is it has dried out, but the wallpaper's damaged underneath. So I think we're going to have to strip the whole, maybe that wall, or maybe the whole of the room, strip the wallpaper off and redecorate, which is such a shame because the paint's actually not been on that long in here, and it's something that I'm going to have to take up with the landlord because it was obviously a problem from outside and the damp's come in. So I'm sure we'll get it sorted at some point. This is an old church pew. I'll give you a better look of it in a minute, but I bought it from a second-hand shop. It was wooden, and I've painted it in an off black by Farrow and Ball, and it's perfect because you can fit so many people on there. So when the kids have got parties or they've got lots of friends around, they all manage to squeeze onto there, and it's great. And same for Christmas as well. So at Christmas, if we've got loads of people around, you can squeeze so many bodies onto that church pew. So it's ideal for that, and I really love it. So you can see it a little bit better there, and the chairs are Urkel. So I picked 6 of these style up in a house clearance store, and I paid £5 each for them, so they were such a bargain. So I've got the 2 here, and I've actually got some more in the garage, because the idea one day is to have a really long dining table, a long narrow one, with loads of mishmash chairs around it. I think that would be gorgeous. So I've saved those in the garage, and then I've also got this kind of shape as well, which I really like. And then I tend to use seasonal displays on the table. So again, I've got my pumpkins, I've got some conkers that the kids have collected, pine cones. These are berries, which were from Country Baskets, which you've seen in my last YouTube video if you watched that. The table was from a pine shop. It was called Ghost of Pine. I don't actually think that shop is there anymore. We've had this for about 15 years now, and it's just an solid oak table, and I'm not really very precious with it, to be honest. I don't mind like the coffee stains and things like that, so I kind of use it as a bit of a scrub top, give it a really good scrub, and I actually like all the marks and things because I just think it really adds to the character to the character of the table, and makes it just feel like a proper family table without feeling too precious about it. This little corner used to be an old fireplace, and the previous owners wallpapered it and put the shelves in, and so I painted over the wallpaper in black, and I like it in black because I just think that everything that you put on there just kind of pops out a little bit more. And then I just hung some fairy lights around it, and I've got this rocking chair, which is also a Urkel rocking chair, and this is a lovely little spot now and again when I had a busy day and the kids have driven me insane. I just come and sit here with a magazine or a book and just have a glass of wine and chill out. It's like my little chill out area. And also if I'm cooking in the kitchen, because the kitchen's just here, it's really handy for that. So you go through some doors straight into the kitchen, so it's quite nice open plan space. But actually, I think if we were to buy this house, what we would probably do is knock the wall out, which is just here. We would probably knock this wall through and have one open plan kitchen dining room. But I do love the start, I love the stained glass feature. I think that's such a lovely feature in the house. Adds a bit of colour as well. So then we go through to the kitchen. of the kitchen, because if I was to design my own kitchen, I'd probably go for something completely different. But I love all the natural light that comes in here from the skylight and the windows. When we first moved in, the walls were painted orange, and I immediately just painted them a more neutral colour. And then by adding this workbench, which is a real statement piece, it's made such a difference to the feel for the kitchen, and your eyes naturally drawn to this when you walk through the door. I originally bought this for my last house, and it was a console in the hallway. And then when we moved into this house, I knew that I wanted some kind of kitchen island, because I missed having somewhere to just sit at when I was cooking. The kids want to do homework and things like that. So I looked at putting casters on the bottom, and I ordered some big casters from eBay. So it's now got 4 casters on, and I got some Barstools. In fact, I've just got new Barstools for in here, because my old ones had sheepskins on them, and they just didn't look as cohesive as what these do. I think because the table's really battered, the stools needed to just be a little bit more luxe. So these ones are perfect. I'll show you them now. Here are my new Barstools. I absolutely love them. These are actually part of a collaboration with Cult Furniture, and I'm really pleased with them. They only arrived yesterday, and the kids absolutely love them as well, because they've got a faux leather top and they're really padded, so they're much more comfortable than what my last ones were. This pink dresser is a recent purchase too, and I absolutely love it. I did have some wire shelving there, which was open shelving, and I do love open shelving, but this just kind of keeps everything tucked away, and I love the pop of pink in here. I think it works so well. So my gallery wall over there, I love this little area of the kitchen. These are all really special prints. So the Bonjour one was from John Lewis. I think it's sold out now actually, but me and my husband love Paris, so that kind of adds a bit of a Parisian feel to the kitchen. Brigitte Bardot, she is just one of my idols. I absolutely love her. We're always dancing in the kitchen. And the Love Lane sign was from Dotty Doolittles, and she asked if she could make me a bespoke sign. And I went for Love Lane because that was the first place that myself and my husband lived together. So it was down on the quayside in Newcastle, and we were there for a year, and it was this little 1-bedroom studio which was so cute, and it was on Love Lane. So that's very apt for our first place together, isn't it? The magazine rack is from House Doctor, and then this print here, it says Totally Dotty. Now it was bought like that. It was a gift because obviously it's got Dalmatians on it. But our other dog was called Dotty, our cockapoo, and she had a tragic accident and died. So yeah, that's a really special print too. So I love this little gallery wall in here. Then I've just popped a few plants up there, which give a really nice homely feel to the kitchen. The Love is the New Black print was again done by my father-in-law. And then if I take you around here, I would say that this is my least favourite part, because no, I don't hate, that's really strong, but I don't like the windows. I just find that the brown plastic wood is such a disappointment compared to the rest of the house, because the rest of the windows in the house are all original sash windows, and they were recently converted to double glazing ones, so they're much better for keeping the heat in, but they kept the original frames. So yeah, I've been thinking about painting these, but because we're renting, it's just hard to know what to do really. What I've done for now is put loads of plants in that area, just to take the eye away from the brown frames. So the climbing pothos plant there works really well, and it's actually got really long. I need to put some more grips up because you can see it's trailing down there, so I need to take it further down the wall. And yeah, there's the skylight look. So loads of beautiful daylight coming in here. I just love this space, it's so nice. The worktops have started to rot. You can see at the back there, the black, which is such a shame. And it's probably my fault because I'm not used to having wooden worktops, so I've not treated them properly since we've lived in here. So I'm thinking about getting those replaced. I'm not sure that wood is the most practical for the kitchen and sink area. Thinking about replacing that at some point. I would quite like maybe a black worktop. I painted the tiles too. The tiles round here and these tiles. I painted all of those myself because they were like an orangey colour. These shelves here have got all kinds of stuff on them. They end up being a bit of a clutter trap. The Marmite was a Valentine's gift that I got for Justin. He loves Marmite. And then the cod liver oil is for my poor old joints, because since I've started running I've been having loads of problems with my knee, so I kept there to remind me to take them. And then I've got a little plant there which I took a cutting from, one of the bigger ones, so that's just growing up there, and some recipe books. And then again, I keep a few of my favourite recipe books there, along with Alexa, some utensils, And in the corner, I've got a box that's got wine and things like that in. You're probably wondering why I've got different clothes on from when I first started this video, and that's because I only managed to film half of it yesterday, and so I'm doing the rest of it today, which is Friday, and I'm hoping to get it all edited and actually live today, but I'm not sure whether that will happen or not. I had quite a late night last night because we went to an event at Space NK. We went to an event at Space NK last night, which was really, really good and really, really interesting. I've just uploaded loads of stories actually onto my Instagram, so if you're interested in makeup and beauty, then you should head over. I'm going to save them in highlights under a beauty highlight, because there was so much fascinating information that I took from it. So I'm going to have some lunch, and then I will take you through and show you the living room. It's always really hard to film in this room. I love the bay window, but it makes the room so backlit, so if I'm trying to film or take a picture from this angle, it makes it really difficult. But the living room is one of the places where, as a family, we spend so much time in here. So it is a little bit of a mess at the minute. The coffee table seems to collect a lot of rubbish, so I'm going to give it a quick tidy round. So we recently got a new sofa, which is this one from Loaf, and I absolutely love it. Just to be completely transparent, I was working with Loaf, so this was a paid promotion that I did with them, and I absolutely love this sofa. It's really made a difference to how we kind of live in the house, and how the kids now come down a lot more and chill out on the sofa, and we've just got so much more room. Alfie used to spend a lot of time up in his bedroom because he's got the top floor, which is a loft space, so he used to be up there a lot, and now he tends to come down and we'll all sit and watch the TV, especially on a Saturday night. We'll have a takeaway, or we'll have like a table picnic, and we'll all just lay out on the sofa, and it's such lovely family time. The sofa is ultra comfortable, it's so deep. I love how the cushions, the back cushions, are so squishy, and I just love how it fits in the room. The one thing that I'm not keen on now is the size of the coffee table. This coffee table I've had for years now. I've always loved the size of it, but now we've got the bigger sofa, I actually think that it doesn't work as well in here because it takes up too much space. So I am thinking about getting rid of it, and I've seen one that I really like, which is a smaller oval shaped coffee table. It's a marble one, and I think that'll work really, really well in here. I would also like to get a new rug. But when we first moved in, the living room was painted like a magnolia, probably more of a lemon colour. It was quite a lemony, and the curtains were like a terracotta, the fireplace was terracotta. I've got a little photo in here so that you can see what it was like before. So we've completely changed it, and I actually really like the style of the room and the open plan space. My big angle poise is one of my favourite things in the house. I actually won that in a competition with heels. What I had to do was post a picture to Instagram. This was probably about 3 years ago. Post a picture to Instagram and talk about why that area of the house was so special. So I posted the workbench in my kitchen and said that it's really special because we spend a lot of time as a family sitting around there talking about our day, the good, the bits, the bad bits. And yeah, I won. I couldn't believe it. And I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. I think it's a piece that I'll just keep forever. The shelf behind the sofa, again, that's just a scaffold board shelf. I actually got that from a local woodyard, and I think it was something like £15. I think it's £15 a metre, so it might have been a little bit more. And again, I've used the brackets just to hang that on there. And I just like that feature behind the sofa because it just means that I can have a little gallery wall, but I can also have a lamp and a few accessories popped on there, like the plants and things like that. And I do tend to change the accessories up on there as well, depending on the seasons, which is great because I think changing things up like that is just a great way to make the room feel different without spending a lot of money. The mirror in the corner is from Maison de Monde, and I've hung some lights around it, and I've just got it stood on an apple crate with some books and things there because it was just a little bit too low to be stood off the floor. And then, as you can see, my fiddle leaf fig, which I adore. This was from Lidl, and it's grown loads over the summer, and that will be thanks to the self-watering pot that's in there, the white pot. This is perfect because it tells you when to top up the water. So as you can see, it's on 0 at the minute. It needs a top up, and then once you've topped it up, the level comes up to there, and it lasts for a few weeks. But the plant then takes as much water as it needs, and it's just grown so much over the summer. So I'm really, really happy with it. I love it. And the big pot that's hiding, the self-watering pot, is from Vincent and Barn. And it comes as a set of 3, and it's a little dolly tub. And then moving on to this chair. This is Maker and Son. And again, I worked with Maker and Son about 6 months ago. And this is one of their love seats, which I adore. It's linen, and you can wash every part of it, which is brilliant because I was a bit nervous about going for a colour like this. But actually, the fact that you can take every single cover off and wash it is just total peace of mind. And also, you can replace the covers. So in a few years' time, if I wanted to add a bit of colour, or if I wanted to go darker or anything like that, I can just order a new set of covers from it. And it works perfectly. Oh, that's my husband. He's just got back from town. Hi! So you can just order a new set of covers from it. So it works really well, and it's so comfortable. The cushions are feather filled, and it's just got a really sturdy frame. It's all made in the UK. Hi, darling. You all right?
All right.
He's just been into town. Oh, he's been shopping. Oh, is that for me? Oh, thank you. So he's got me a candle. He knows me well. And I love Jo Malone candles, but I just love having scented candles in the house. You've probably spotted that already. So he's got me lime, basil and mandarin. Got the dog's bed there, look. He's got a bed in every room, but he does like to try and sneak on the sofa as well. This cabinet was a Gumtree purchase, and I upcycled it. I'll put the blog post below. And then I worked with Dulux on a project, and I painted the inside in stripes, and I absolutely love it. The fireplace isn't one of my favourite features in the room, mainly because of the raised area. Can you see it's kind of on a step? It's got like a boxed in area all around the bottom where the hearth is, and I just kind of wish that wasn't there. I wish that it just sat flush to the floor, because also it takes up so much room. So if we take you around here, you can see how much further it sticks out at the side. There, look, on this bit here, it sticks out quite a bit there. So yeah, it's not one of my favourite parts of the house. I painted it. The frame was just wooden, the fireplace was wooden, and the tiles were a terracotta colour, and I painted it. And I do like them a lot more since I've done that. But if this was our house, we definitely wouldn't have a fireplace like that. The mirror is from Cox & Cox. It's an industrial style one, which I love, and the lamp is a collaboration with Abigail Ahern and Hillary Blinds. So the shade is using the Hillary Blind fabric. And yeah, I really love that. It's very Marmite. People either love it or hate it, but I think it's good to have a bit of fun in the room. It injects a bit of character into here. The on-air light, that I bought from my husband for Valentine's Day one year, because he's worked in radio for years and years and years, so I thought it was really appropriate. Also, this picture up there, just trying to move so you can't see the reflection from the on-air sign. But anyway, that painting up there is done by my father-in-law again, so he's done quite a few pieces in the house, and I love that one. The paint on the walls is Bowerk, and it's a lime paint, so it gives texture. I love the textured walls. It almost gives the effect of concrete, which I think is a really nice feature. So I've got the grey on that wall called Feather, and on this wall it's an off black, I think it's called Jet. Then you can see as you go through, we've got the big open plan space. There's my desk, which I spend a lot of time working at and editing videos and things like that. Sometimes I think it'd be easier not to be in the living room, but then sometimes it's quite nice because I can be part of everything that's going on, and if there's something that I don't want to watch in the night time, I can just jump onto the computer and do a bit of work. My desk area never seems to be tidy. As you can see, there's always mess and clutter, and always a packet of jammy dodgers to get me through the day. So the Chesterfield sofa is a vintage one. I absolutely love it, but it's really uncomfortable. So we've moved it into this part of the living room because it looks pretty and we don't really use it that much because obviously we've got these sofas in the other side. The console and the mirror are both from Maison du Monde. And then I've got another fireplace here. I don't love this part of the living room. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, to be honest. I've got a bookshelf in the corner. And yeah, it's just an area that we don't use very often. It's quite dark because it's north facing this side, and I've not really decided exactly what I'm going to do with it, but I do need to have a bit of a revamp in this area, but I think that can wait till after Christmas. So I think that's it for my house tour part 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you a better insight into how we live as a family and given you a more realistic view of things, because I know things on Instagram can seem so perfect. I'm never going to be one of these people that has a pristine house because I don't actually mind a little bit of mess and a little bit of clutter. You'll have probably noticed as I've shown you around that there's little piles around the house. We have a pile in the dining room, which is usually the kids' homework, and we have a pile in the kitchen, which is usually letters, and it's just what happens, isn't it? Now and again, I'll go around the house and I'll have a good declutter and get rid of everything, and everything's got its own place. But it does build up again, and I think that's just natural when you've got 2 kids and a dog and you've got such busy lifestyles, because the house can go from being tidy to messy within the space of half an hour. If we've been rushing around, we've had football, then we've had to come back, go to dance, and we've had a lot of things on. So I think that's pretty normal, isn't it? But I also like things not to be too styled, so I like having big piles of books on the coffee table for when a friend comes round and they can pick them up and have a look through them. I love it when friends walk into a room and they just, it kind of fills their senses. It's not really one focal point, there's so many things that they want to look at, because for me that's really important. Yeah, I could never be a minimalist because I like my clutter too much. So if you've enjoyed this video, it would be great if you could give me the thumbs up by just clicking on the little like button below, and also subscribing would mean the world, because then I know that you're actually enjoying these videos and I can get on to filming more of them and maybe get around to doing the upstairs, which will be part 2 of this house tour. I'll catch you later, bye.